Okay, this video is about my Faraday cage. Okay, this is what I've been sleeping in for the past 2 years. This is an introduction of my Faraday cage, and that's what it looks like. You can see right there. Okay, that's what it looks like. It's just basically hanging on here on 4 sides, and it just hook onto the ceiling. And basically, it's just a cage made out of silver fabric. This is part of silver, and I believe it's polyester. But, as you all know, polyester strings actually conduct electricity. So they add silver to this. And by doing that, it captured the signals. All the cell phones, satellite, radio, satellite TV, even gamma rays, or any type of radiation. Then, what does it do? Where does it go? It's sent into the ground. And this is my ground wire. It goes onto here, and then, kind of dark here, and it goes into an electrical wire right there. So basically, I just use the ground wire. Sorry, I can't even see here, but you see this wire right here? That's the ground wire. That's it. It goes right to the ground. And all the radiation that is absorbing to here, I actually have 2 locations. If you notice, the string splits. That goes to the other side, just in case. So that's how that works. So I have 2 locations just in case there's a failure or it fall off or whatever, I still have protected. So I made 2, and it splits into 2 and it goes onto the other side. That's all it is. It's clipped from one side to the other. And that's what that is. And then now I'm going to go into the video, going to show you what, how I made it and stuff like that. Okay? Okay, I have to close the window so I can speak because my neighbor's like right next down there, and he's outside working on the car. So he's blasting his music there. I know I could have just asked him to shut it down or whatever, but I'll just let him enjoy his moment. I forgot to add about this is that why I did this. Okay, I started to research about 2 years ago about a Faraday cage. And I've heard a lot about them, but I didn't really go into details about them because I didn't really understand a lot of stuff. And if I did, I would have done it long ago. Believe it or not, I would have done this long ago. I would have. I just didn't know. And after researching it and stuff like that, I decided to make one because I found one that it actually has the circle around and then it's span out. That one there cost, they want, I believe there's a company here in the US, I'm in the US by the way, wanted $1,600 to about $2,400 for something like this. And if you custom it, they want about $2,400. So, and plus I'm claustrophobic. I can't have, height is very important. This is about, I believe, almost to 8-something feet tall right here. I actually made it longer than that because I have another bedroom downstairs that I can actually raise up even higher. My bedroom downstairs on the first floor, it's actually a 12-feet ceiling. So I made a lot of extra down here. If you can see, there's like all bunched in. So that's how that works. So I made a little bit extra. Anyway, let's get back to how I started this. So basically I research around a lot, and I know that I was having issues with radiations like Wi-Fi's and cell phones and cell towers and all this stuff. So I knew that I have to have one. So that's what I did, and that's how I got into this. And then I'm going to later in the video I tell you more about it. But I forgot to add that I forgot before I merge all this video together, because these are all done in segments. So I hope you get something out of it, because I don't do anything with script. I just talk on top of my head what comes to my mind or whatever. But I will, like I said, in the end of the video, I actually mentioned that that I would make more of this. So, but this was just an introduction of the video, and then what I left out, or how I started, and what made me go into this to have a Faraday cage, was basically just radiation. I was having a lot of issues, like breathing problems and Wi-Fi, and it gave me headaches and things like that. So that's how I got into having a Faraday cage. But anyway, that's about it. Next video. Okay, so to explain a little bit here, before I set this up, this is actually before I set this up, so you guys can understand the concept of this, is that these are pull strings. These are just elastic. Okay, I made this to pull in, and I'm going to show you afterward, but these are pull strings. I also designed it in the way that I can slip the rods in. See, these are the rods right here. They're plastic rods. Remember, you cannot use metal rods. I know you're supposed to use metals, but I will explain it all later. This is where it slides in, these little slots right here, and that's where it hangs up on the wall. On the corners, okay, I will show you that later, how the corner actually connect to each other. Okay, these are all, I made this all sliders, and I actually double sew them. You look really close, they're actually 2 lines, and these are heavy duty threads, so they would not rip off the wall. And also too, they support it as like a connector, or a word in English, I mean not in electronic, called how'd you say that? Oh my god, I got on top of my head and I can't think of it. Continuity, sorry. Now, then I made a top here. This is a double, and I'll show you that in the video. I made this to double protection on top, and a lot of people would ask, okay, this is the material. That's the material that has not been sewn. Okay, I sewed a little bit here. That was a test right here, but this is how it looks like when it's not been sewn. It comes like that in a row, okay, and they are expensive. Remember that, okay? I will tell you the cost in the description. Now, as you'd see, that's where I tie things in. That's where it bundle up. And this is because I designed this because I am claustrophobic. In case anybody doesn't know what claustrophobic is, those are the people who are afraid being inside an enclosure, like a small enclosure. Like say if you trap me in a closet, I would freak out. That's the best thing I can to say about claustrophobic. Even though this is actually big, I still am claustrophobic being in here. But I have to program my head and to tell me, to remind me that it's okay. Because remember, this is a 360 protection, meaning everything, it's like a box, like being inside a box. And another thing that people would ask is that, how would be that possible if you don't have the underneath protection? Well, guess what? This is a silver fabric. This is my under protection right here, underneath the mattress. And when that happens, this will ties in, and that would make a continuities. So by being in that, that's why it's being tied together in a bunch like this. Okay. So when it goes underneath here, it actually, even if this part doesn't touch, this part will touch. But it's actually wrapped underneath the mattress here. And purposely, I made the mattress, leave it on the floor. I'm actually laying on the floor on the mattress. The reason why, that's just a preference. You can actually take this and tape it to your box spring. That would also work, because from here to here, they can't penetrate through anymore. Radiation cannot penetrate through anymore. So when you're lying on that, you would be protected as well. So if people or anyone who have questions about that, it's protected already. Remember that, okay? Because this is a 360 protection. There's no radiation leakage or penetrating through. Are those, like I will repeat, and I will say it in the video again. This is not 100% protected. But it is still better than nothing. Okay? So that's the basic concept of that. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to put it together. And then I'm going to walk through with you in case you want to make one. Okay. This is a short thing to tell you how I did it. The plastic tube just goes into here. And I got a PCV. What is it, 90? And then I just drill a hole through, and I just put a screw through, and I put this on the loop here. And then if you noticed, right there, that's where I attach it to the ceiling. And that's where the loop is right here. And I'll show you that a little later. But that's how that looks like, right? Similar to that right there is on that side and on that side. So that's how easy it is, in case anybody wants to make this or copy this or whatever. That's all you have to do. And like I said, remember, this has to be in plastic. And then you just put them in here. And what I did was, how did I loop it through? I cut a slit right here on each side. So that way I'll be able to loop the pole through in order to insert this in. It has to be big enough for it to, because this was built with like a guard, like a curtain. You see that? That extra part there, it's like a curtain. Benny, come back please. Sorry, my dog. So this just act like a curtain rod. That's it. So if you look at the curtain rod, you will know, you will understand. Anyway, also too, you can use these eyelet right here. I actually have a small eyelet, and I don't know where they are, so I just got these loop and put the screw right in there. So you can do eyelet as well. I had the smaller one, but when I was washing these, I lost them. But these are too big, so I didn't use them. But you can use eyelet too if you want to make things faster for you. But another way is to put a screw right through here and put a ring. That's another thing too, and then you can hook your ring on to that. I'll show you in a minute when I attach these. Okay, before I go into all the details, this is what it looks like after almost done. I'm showing it to you so you can actually see the concept. I just drill the holes up there and put bungee cord. You can find those little bungee cord, they're like 7 inches long, and then they stretch. And they're like, you know, those little bungee little things for like awkward stuff. I don't know what they are, but They're just normal bungee cord, and I just, as you saw earlier, I put that on the hook and then just hook it onto the ceiling. As you can see the eyelet right there. I'm gonna zoom it closer so you can see. So that's what it looks like. Okay, basic. The only thing I didn't like about this is that through time, this will bend because it's plastic. And because of the roof, I'm actually on the 3rd floor. I use this bedroom on the 3rd floor is because winter, it gets warm up here. Of course, everybody knows winter gets warmer on higher level. So I'm on the 3rd floor, and this is setting on the 3rd floor. I just washed it, so it's kind of wrinkled a little bit, as you can see. This is where the door comes in, is double layer. So you don't need any zippers or anything. So that's how I made it. I just connected to there, all the way to there, and then it just, you know, touch each other. So it can be easy access out. You see that? Now, for the middle here, I just put a loop around. You notice that's where it started. And it always goes around here and loops all around here. Just like that. Why? It's because I chose this design that I did it myself. Remember, I designed this all by myself. No one taught me anything. I just did it. I just did it the best way I could think of, or the best way I think that it will work. And so far, it's been 2 years and it works. Just like the other side, that's where the door would comes in, and just like that. I'll show you in a minute. As once it's done, I'll take another video and you can see. But I just want to let you see that it's all in surrounding. And what it looks like in the inside, everything in the inside, as you know and as you heard it before, I'm claustrophobic. So I try to design this as big as I can, as best as I can, and use as much, like right there, that's because they connected together, and I have to loop through, so there's a little cut right there. You see that right there? That's the only cut that I have, but it doesn't matter because it's on the inside. It's still protected. And you see the double right there? So that's actually double right there. That's the door. It can go in from both sides. I'll show you that later when it's done. But this here that I just want to show you the inside of it and how I did it. Like I said, I just loop it through here and I put the elastic. So when this goes underneath the mattress, it just bunges right into the center and I don't have to do anything. That's the best part, sort of like a covering your mattress. That's what it was designed like. Okay, just remember that. And like I stated before, I double stitch everything. And no one taught me how to sew. I did it all by myself. I took my grandma's sewing machine and I just followed the guide. That's it. That's all I did. You see, there's mistakes here. You see that? There's mistakes here. But I try to follow as best as I could. Like right here, you see that? And I actually use a serger as well. My grandmother had a serger, so I used that as well. That's how I did that. So you can see, it doesn't take much. And as you can see my mistakes, I tried to make as less mistakes as I can. And on the sewing machine itself, I just put a piece of tape. And I just follow that piece of tape. That's it. That's how I did it. I have no sewing skills whatsoever. And like I said, there are mistakes. But that doesn't matter. The matter is that as long as I sew a straight line, I'm okay. And you see this right here? There was no need for that line to be there either. I sewed that line because I had to make a guide. You see that? So within that guide, I folded. Just like that right there. Because I have no sewing knowledge or skills, I have to make myself a line. So I sew that line and then I crease it right there and then I just continue on here. And that's how it makes it look nice. You see that? See how nice? Not really, but close enough, right? But anyway, all I'm trying to say is that you can do this. There's no need for, you can actually sew by hand if you needed to be honest, truthfully. The serger made things faster. So what I did was, why is my camera not focusing? Oh, because I'm in Zoom. Sorry, guys. Sorry, people. So the serger, I on the fabric itself, I just went on to the serger, so the serger would make this thing right here. So I thought that the fabric's gonna get damaged. So I did it that way. Now, once I done that, it kind of create like a line. You see that? So from that was kind of my guy there. So I guide along the machine just like that, carefully. I went really slow. I didn't, as you can see, look at this right here. Small, and then it becomes large, and then becomes small, large. So you can see my mistakes. But, like I stated before, it doesn't matter. As long as I can come close enough. I mean, few millimeters is not going to hurt anybody, and no one's going to see it anyway, and it's going to be underneath anyway. But the whole point is that I doubled it, so that way no radiation leaked. So I doubled everything, as you can see. I double and I fold it onto itself. So if you look on this side, you see how nice that is. So I did a pretty good job. I mean, not as good as I like to be, but it's the best I could do. And then I double, when on corners like this, I make sure to go back and forth on them. So it won't, like you see right here, this bunch of, right there. Bunch of threads right there. I make sure to go back and forth on them so the corner will stay. So I make sure I went backward on the machine. But as you can see, this line here, that's actually double stitch. Right here. I actually went through twice. If you look really close. Right there. I went through twice. I did twice around there because I was afraid that through time from opening in, out, in and out, in, out, I was afraid the thread's gonna rip. And I chose the highest thread that I could find. These thread are really heavy duty. So that's how I did it. But anyway, I'm gonna pause the video and then we're gonna go to the next. Okay, I hope you can hear me because my neighbor's blasting out lots of Spanish music. Anyway, you see how that looks. Okay, this is the finished product. I made this so Benny can get in and out on this side. Because when I go in there, I tucked in a little bit, but he knows where to go in and out. This is where all the goes in, as you can see. It's kind of pretty tight because it was designed. I have also put this extra piece on here. You noticed? I had a piece extra. If you look inside, it goes against that wall right there. You see that? It's because you have to remember, we are now living a digital age. There's actually satellite bombarded us right now too. So not only Wi-Fi, cell phones and all that stuff, it's actually we are bombarded by signal from there beaming down. You have to remember that, okay? So I put this as a dual protection. You can see right there. I have the extra piece, so I put it on so it doesn't go to waste. I used every single part of material I could to enhance this. And you can see what it looks like on this side. That's where the door comes in on this side. As you go in, you would go through here. And you see this is the second layer here. See that? Now as you come in, this is what it looks like inside. All the corners are nice and straight. Okay. And remember I said earlier, this is the only place that was cut, but it's in the inside. It's got two protection in because that's where I join the two part together to make a door. I didn't want to make like a zip tie, like a zipper, because zipper can actually, what I think, can actually radiation can leak through. So I doubled it. And then once it comes in, like here, I would fix down here and try to tuck it into each other. So now it becomes one piece. See that? There are a little radiation leak, but not that much. And all the surrounding, that's what it looks like. It is not pretty, I can tell you that. Staying in here is not pretty. It is a sacrifice. Okay? And that's what I have to take a little clip and just clip on both sides so it won't come out through time. Because I kind of find that through time it actually does that. So, but that's the second layer. So, the second layer doesn't really matter, but like I stated, I wanted to make it so that way it'll block the outside, I guess you can say, space. So it's actually like blocking space as well, because you have to remember there are gamma rays and there are radiation coming out from space as well. It actually leaking through our planet as well. So that also help. Also too, here's what I've noticed about radiation. Certain amount of time, like at night, from 7 to 11, actually 11 to 7 o'clock, those are the best time. 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Those are the best time because most of the radiation from the sun actually are better. Funny as that, 7-11. Remember that, okay? Why at 11? As I've noticed, it took about 4 hours for radiation to settle. Meaning, at 11 o'clock, 10, 9, and 8, and 7, okay? From 7, depend on the sunset. But as far as I can tell, from 7 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night, when those are the radiation start absorbing back into the earth. The earth absorbed that radiation. The most healthiest time to be outside, it's 11 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning. Why at 7 o'clock in the morning? 7 o'clock in the morning is when the sun starts to shine. Once the sun starts to shine, you know, it will take a little while for the radiation to come down on the earth to hit you. So the earth actually absorbing the radiation. That's what I know. That's what I found out. That's what I have experienced. And what does it feel like being in here? Being in here is the greatest thing that I have ever done for myself. It is the greatest purchase in my entire life. Although it costs a lot. A total of $600 in fabric alone, in the material alone. I was able to make this and also have that extra there. And I also have another extra piece that I actually made for my dog Benny here. He loves it. Okay, if you can ask him if he loves it or not, he'll tell you. I wish you can tell them how you like this thing, Benny. He automatically comes in here and he will just comes in here automatically. You don't even have to tell him. So obviously we know it's blocking radiation. We already know that. Also too, can you touch the thing here? No. I advise you not to touch it at night. What I do is I put pillows all around here to span it out. Once I'm in here, I put a pillow. I made a long pillow and I just put it on this side. And I put it on another one on this side here. What does that do? It actually pushes it out a little bit. That's number one. Number two, it actually gives me a little extra room so I don't feel claustrophobic. That's number 2. That's the best part for me. I don't know about other people, but for me. So that's killing 2 birds with 1 stone there. But it also to enhance this to make sure that it's everything straight. And everything touch underneath. Remember, underneath here, there's that silver thing that I showed you earlier. Now, when you're in here, people who have actually, what do you call those? Tinnitus? Actually, it stops. So I don't think it is tinnitus. Just to let you know that one. I think. And I'll probably make a different video on that. But anyway. So that's what it looks like inside. The only thing bad about this is that you see the ceiling fan, and that's part of the roof. That's the only thing bad about it, because this room is kind of slant a little bit. Because like I said, it's on the 3rd floor, it slants a little bit. And then the ceiling fan. I can't use the ceiling fan because I'm afraid it'll hit something, or if something breaks or whatever. So I don't really use it. I use a fan, but here's the problem. When you turn on the fan, radiation starts leaking through the fan. So what I do is I put a fan here. Like just right here. Just right here. And only cooling my feet only. And the wind will blow a little bit. You won't get a lot. But you can cool your feet. If you know. If you experience a little bit. In the summer. Take a fan and just blow your feet alone. If you blow your feet alone, you're actually cooling your whole body. Believe it or not. How to cool your body? That's another video right there. How to cool your body quick, simple, and easy. Just on your feet alone. That's it. So, that's how I sleep in here. Okay? I do a very simple thing. I only put a pillow and a blanket. But the blanket and everything else has to be cotton. Remember that, okay? Polyester is no good for you when you have a Faraday cage like this. When you have a Faraday cage, the number 1 thing, polyester is your enemy. Why? Because polyester attracts radiation or electricity. So if this was polyester, your body will absorb whatever is catching out here into you. And that's why I said I have to put a pillow here. So at nighttime, I don't touch it. Although this is I believe this is a full-size bed. This is a full-size bed. And I chose this full-size because that's the full length of the fabric. So that is 56 inches maybe. I believe it's either 56 or 60. I'm not sure on that one. I never measured it. I believe it's 60. But that goes from there to there. So that's why I bought this mattress. This mattress was bought specifically for this. Because this mattress is actually foam and nothing else. And then I make sure everything else I put on here is all cotton. 100% cotton. I can deal with 80s and 40. I'm sorry. 80s and 20, or they have 40s and 60. I'm okay. But I tried to get everything else cotton. Including my comforter and my blankets or whatever it is. 100% no polyester. That's the rule for this. And that's how I designed that. And if you look in that corner right there, I forgot. That's my ground wire. I clip a ground wire in here. Whatever is being attached to here, send it to the ground. Do you have to have it? 100%, 1,000,000%. Yes, you have to have a ground wire in your Faraday cage. If people tell you that no ground is needed, they do not know what it's like. Honestly, truthfully, you can take the ground off. And I can tell you that if you have taken the ground off or not, there is a difference on that. Because when you don't have that on there, everything got caught. Because these are meant to get caught. But it doesn't go anywhere. It just lingers. So you actually becomes an antenna itself. If you are sensitive enough like me, you will feel that you are the antenna. High dosage of antenna. Believe it or not. If I take that off, I would have respiratory problems. Being in here. No point of being in here. And that's very important. That's my ground wire. I just put a thing here, and that goes into directly into my outlet. Just using the ground only. I can show you that in another video to make those if you needed to. But this video is about how I sleep in it. What does it feel like? I can tell you, it is the best feeling that you can ever have. I only sleep about 4 hours a day. That's it. The rest, I got so much energy, you don't even know. You do not even know how it feels like to be in here. I know it's going to be a lot of questions on this video, because we are going into even further. They are actually putting, I'm not going to name the company. They are actually putting satellite out there, and they're going to beam us Wi-Fi or radio frequency internet. So now they're going to be a bunch of satellites out there. I've read on the thing is 4,365 satellites. Small mini satellite that is going to beam us radio frequency. Now you know there are TV signals. There is cell phones. Okay, radio, satellite TV, like direct TV. All those every day, and we're not, and that's not even counting yet. There are other radiations like gamma rays and all those radiation that we have not even discovered yet, that we don't even know. It would bombard us every minute, every second of it. We are being bombarded. And when you sleep in here, when you go in here, and when you sleep in here, most of it, I can tell you most of it, and I cannot tell you, I cannot stress enough. Is it 100% being protected? No. I can tell you off that hand already. It is not a 100% protection. Please remember that. And I will tell you again and again and again. It is not 100%. What I think it is about 80%. There's still 20% left. So remember that, okay? I only got 80% protection, but 80% protection is better than nothing. Remember that one too. So that's why I made this Faraday cage. Of course, it's going to be a long video, and because this is all about setting up and doing it and what it feels like and just a little bit of it, I guess I'm probably going to do separate videos on it, because I know there are going to be tons and tons and tons of questions on this. And I've seen that a lot on other websites. Not websites, but other channels that people have. Not a lot of channels covering a Faraday cage. And I'm glad that I spent it was worth every single penny of it and more. How long have I been sleeping in here? This is my second year. It's been 2 years already since I'm sleeping in here. Why I haven't made a video? Because I need to test it. That's number one. Well, you already know right away, once you go in, once you come in here, within the 15 minutes, you know right away your body will change within 15 minutes. But why did I wait this long? Well, I have other things that I've done, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't have a lot of time. So now I actually have a lot of time to do other things now. And plus, I had personal problems I don't want to mention on here. So let's cut it short and just passed on. But anyway, so now I'm making these videos. And I'm making these videos now is that I think it would help a lot of people to understand radiations. And that's something that took me a while to understand radiations. So that's what it looks like in here. And that's what it looks like, my surroundings, if you can see. That's what it looks like. I've seen other designs that they bunch it in the center right here and then it spreads out. My only problem with that is that if my hand touched this thing at nighttime or whatever, like if my hand fall off or something, I try to stay in the center. Because as you know, this is a sacrifice. It is not something that it's like you sleep in daily. Of course, you sleep this in daily, but it's not something that you like, you just jump on the bed or whatever. You have to take care of it just like everything else. This is like a gold thing right here for me. I mean, we're talking about $600 worth of stuff plus my labor. That doesn't count either. And design and then blah, blah, blah. I think it's cost more than $600, but I'm just saying it's about $600 for me. If I have to make this and make money off it, it's probably worth at least $1,200 or at least $1,500 because I put a lot of time and effort into this thing. Also, too, is that I'll make a separate video for this. I'll make like a separate frequently asked questions. I'll put them all into like a piece of paper first so that way I can gather my thoughts. I'm going to search other Faraday's cage videos and then I'll answer those questions as well, into it as well. But this is just an introduction and also to tell you that I do sleep in a Faraday cage. And how does it feel? My body doesn't feel any pain after sleeping in here. Let's say if I do a lot of work or whatever, like let's say if I go outside and help my grandmother or whatever and do a lot of stuff, I come back in here and I just take a nap and boom, within 1 hour, oh my God, I gain so much energy back. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. You don't even know how it feels. Another way I was thinking is that I should make a bunch of these and then have people sleep test them. Because my grandmother have a big house. So I was thinking that I can make it downstairs and people can actually rent the night. And they can sleep in it and they can feel what it's like. And then if they want me to make it or whatever, and then they would have to pay for it after sleeping in it. But like I said, within 15 minutes right away, you will know what it feels like. So that was another thing too that I thought of, making it and selling it. But as this right now, I don't really have time for that. So, or maybe I can subcontract somebody else to make them. And then, they just pay me for my consultant or whatever. That's another possibility too. I'm not too sure. But I got so much things going on. I don't really want to go that route. But that's another route that I could do. But anyway, because it's so great. But anyway, I'm going to end this video here. And I'm going to make other videos, like frequently asked questions, how I did it, what kind of material I use, blah, 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 all this stuff. But this video, just an introduction saying that how I sleep in it for the past 2 years. And how it feels, and how great it feels, and how much energy I get from it. But anyway, other than that, and I hope this video would help you to go further, asking me questions, and I'll make more videos on it.